Good afternoon, everyone. This is Enrique Sanchez of Spanish United. Today we have a very special guest for our show. Would you be kind enough to introduce yourself to the audience, please?
Yeah, hi, this is Anne-Lise Mogstad. I am the current president of the House of Norway located in Balboa Park here in San Diego. Nice to be
Perfect.
here.
Likewise, tusen tack. Välkommen.
Tack ska du ha.
As we spoke per se on the phone, Spanish United is interested to know about the House of Norway. What do you do as an organization, and how you reach out to different people within the community.
Yeah, so the House of Norway basically promotes the Norwegian culture and educate visitors about the country, how it was and how it is today. And we have very many members that volunteer on a weekend basis, either on a Saturday or Sunday, and share all their knowledge and traditions with the visitors in the park.
Nice. And how long has the House of Norway been around for?
So the oldest houses were built under a Panama Convention beginning of, I want to say, the 20s. And long story short, the original houses were then turned into an international village, so to speak, and that happened in the mid-30s.
So there's been a Norwegian community that's lived in San Diego since the 30s then?
Yes, and what is important to us is not just promoting Norwegian values, but also find a balance in how we can share it with, again, the visitors, Americans, whoever they are. The park has an incredible diversity of visitors from the entire world, quite frankly. And so it's a really nice place to share.
Nice. And what would you say would be like the motto of the House of Norway?
Well, we don't really have a motto per se, but what we do is we focus on education. So we're part of the residents' free Tuesday programs. So every fourth Tuesday, people can come and visit the house for free between noon and 2 o'clock. And we have quite a few classes of kids that are homeschooled or learning about the international community that come and visit us then. So that's a big deal for us. And then it is, as I mentioned, every Saturday and Sunday between 11 and 4 p.m. People are at the house. We make traditional waffles. You can smell it from quite a distance. And then we chat and we promote predominantly our nature, our system of how Norway is ruled, etc., and whatever people want to learn about.
Nice, perfect. One of the things that we're doing in Spanish United, like I founded it in 2020. And one of the things that we focus on is Hispanic advocacy, promoting Hispanic human rights, and also educating people that Hispanics have always been part of the United States. We've been part of the United States probably since the founding. And we contribute a lot. And unfortunately, because of many circumstances, a lot of Hispanics tend to be excluded from everything. Let it be from education, let it be from the political process, and sometimes culturally. So one of the things that we do is that we try to educate people on Hispanic culture, to try to do away with any stereotypes people may have, and to show that Hispanic people are very inclusive, because the stereotype that people have of Hispanics is that they look a certain way, they are a certain way, but Hispanics are an inclusive ethnicity. We're not a race, we're an ethnicity. Hispanic could be European, African, Native American, Indigenous, or Asian, or a mixture of all those. And what identifies someone as a Hispanic is someone that speaks the Spanish language, was born in Latin America, or identifies primarily as being Hispanic. So that's primarily what we do. And we also try to do workshops like with the youth, and bring like supplies to people that are, struggling with the economy, and we try to promote positive values. Like right now, we're trying to to set up a community center, but we've been struggling to try to get funding. But I'm trying to do what I can to knock on different doors to get donations. But at the same time, one thing that I liked about Norway is that I think Hispanics and Latin Americans could learn a lot about their system of government, the way they handle their society. Because, like I said, I was in Norway last year, and I was there for about 2 weeks, and I was just amazed on how very organized the country is, and that how it's just very efficient. And there's a stereotype in America on the right wing that Scandinavia is communist, which I think is absurd. But if anything, I think it's far from communist. I just feel that Norway, like we were talking about before we got online, that the government takes care of its people and invests in its people.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think a confusion might come from the fact that the government is social democratic, and many people are a little bit nervous about the word social, but it's social in the way of taking care of its citizens. So there's free education, there is free health care, there is support system for you should you have any kind of health issues, be it physical or mental. There is an extremely good caring setup for the elderly. Even if you don't have money, for example, you are still obviously allowed a space in a nursing home, for example. So we are definitely used to caring for each other. That being said, we're pretty introvert at times. Not everyone is extrovert, but we do care about each other. And I remember many years ago, somebody said, one of the few countries I can lose my wallet in would be Norway, because people actually hand it into the police with all the information and money in it.
Mm-hmm.
So and we're proud of that. And I think also that we are often participating in difficult situations in the world. So the current secretary of NATO is Norwegian, for example. And Norway has often been asked as a country to help breach understanding between different countries or warring parties, etc. So I think we're pretty proud of that we're able to do that. I wanted to just basically talk a little bit more here locally on the house that we have. We are also very open-minded in terms of who wants to join the House of Norway. If you're Norwegian, obviously, or if your great-grandfather was Norwegian, or basically if you're just interested in Norway as a country, feel free to join us. We have had people from across the world join our organization, from Africa to Honduras to many different nations, and that is what we believe is good, that we have a breadth of different members. So anyone is welcome. Just come to the house and fill out a membership application, and we'll take it from there.
Oh, nice. That's good to hear, because a lot of ethnic and cultural clubs, they tend to be very insular, and they tend to exclude people. So that's good. Like Spanish United, even though we are a predominantly Hispanic organization, and our leaders are Hispanic, but we do welcome members from all backgrounds. Like we have non-Hispanic allies that support our cause and support our movement. And one of the things that that we created is the motto "Culture over Color." So the whole point of that is to unite all Hispanic people, regardless of nationality, ethnicity, and background. Because I think Hispanics as a whole group are much stronger when they are united as a culture than they are as separate nations. And what unites us is language. Like it doesn't matter if you're in Mexico, Argentina, Cuba, Puerto Rico, we all speak the same language, regardless of what we look like. And we have a culture is actually very rich, very that has been around for a long time, and that's the whole point of. I chose the name Spanish United because I'm uniting all Hispanic nations through culture and through language. So I feel that that's how we've been able to be so successful as we have.
That's great. And I want to reiterate again that Norway is just one of many countries that are under the umbrella of House of Pacific Relations. There is a House of Mexico. There is a House of Spain. There is a House of Puerto Rico. And so again, the whole idea about being part of Balboa Park is to foster interaction between different culture, languages, ethnicities, etc. So again, if you don't want to join, for example, Norway, there are many other houses that you can choose from.
Oh, nice. Awesome. I didn't even know there was a House of Puerto Rico.
Yeah, it's one of the older ones. And recently, Mexico just got their own physical house. There are more nations that are involved, but not all of them have a physical house they can call their own.
That's understandable. Wow, that's pretty nice. So, do you also like offer like social services? You offer like Norwegian classes, like that type of thing, or no?
Very good question. We have in the past had language courses on the weeknights. We also have, currently we're not having it, but we're looking to start again. We have a crafting session every other Monday that's open for people who just want to come in and sit and drink coffee and craft. Wood carvers, knitters, people who sew, something called hardangersøm, etc. So we're happy to have a neutral place for them to meet. We have a choir that meets there every Monday evening, a male group, always looking for more people to join that singing ensemble as well. And then, as I mentioned, we open for the kids on Tuesdays or whenever we're asked to.
Oh, that's nice. And do you do also like field trips like for the youth and for the kids?
So the kids come in and visit with us. That is basically what we do. We do a couple of field trips for our members. If I'm using the field trip term, we go at least once a year up to the LA area, where there is a Norwegian Siemens church that also has a big traditional bazaar in November. So we try to also link all the various Norwegian communities within the greater Southern California area. And we promote some kind for us to all come together. For example, this past Tuesday was the 17th of May, which is our Constitution Day. And Norway has the second oldest constitution in the world after US. And we basically had members coming from all the way up in Oceanside to partake in that event in the Hall of Nations. So we had a record number of almost 80 people and ate a lot of traditional food and sang our national anthem and had our flags with us. So we are very united in that effort.
That's nice. I wasn't able to go to the Siemens Church here in St. Peter, but I was able to watch it online. I still have my Norwegian flag that was given to me.
Oh, good.
And it was pretty interesting how the festival is. It's actually very unique. Like when everyone is dressed in their bunads and everyone is,
yes,
it's kind of like more of a marching band festival.
Yeah, it's so funny that you say that because that's what I was educating the non-Norwegians on during the event, that it's a lot of marching bands. It's bunad, which is a traditional costume for men and or women. Often given to you when you get confirmed or when you become older. And lots of flags and lots of hip hip hoorays in Norwegian. And I always think it's important to say that that day is actually the day for the kids. I remember eating as much ice cream until I almost puked, right? I mean, it's like, and you eat sausages, and we served that on the lawn program on Sunday as well. And I also think it's so nice that everyone wants to partake in these festivities. It's not like where the government is forcing you to line up and, pretend that you are proud of your country. We
Right.
really are, and it's a really nice celebration. So I hope you can join us next year.
Yes, I definitely would like to. And I wanted to ask, if Spanish United were to work with the House of Norway in the future, like for example, like what things do you think we could collaborate with? Just curious.
So generally, we have a couple of events throughout the year. Some are just based on House of Norway's calendar, and some are based on, again, what I keep on referring to, HPR, House of Pacific Relations, which is part of the city of San Diego. So we just had an ethnic food fair. That is where we shared our traditional food. You could share your traditional food. We have December nights where we also share food. A lot of eating here, you can all tell. And then we have what we call our lawn program, which we do on a Sunday so more people can attend. We need performers sometimes. And then we are also working with the HPR community under an umbrella organization they have called Queens, which is a other nonprofit organization for young girls, teenagers, where they get together and do a lot of community service. And we have 3 representatives from the House of Norway that is part of that Queens organization. That's also something that's open for anyone who wants to join, as long as you're affiliated with one of the houses prior.
Nice, nice. Because honestly, one thing I would like to do actually in the future, once we're more established, is do like a food drive or do a community work between Spanish United and the House of Norway to show that Hispanics in particular, we're generous and we give back. Because one of the stereotypes that Hispanic people have is that we take and we don't give, and we're trying to
Yeah.
dispel that stereotype by encouraging our members and people within our community that you can give back. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to give money, which money is appreciated, but you can give back through your time, giving
Yes.
back through giving supplies to people in need. Like I remember when the pandemic happened, we were bringing, masks and water and food to a lot of Hispanic people that were displaced. A lot of people that pretty much didn't have access to anything because many of them didn't speak English. Many of them didn't know where to go. So that's where we came in, and we try within our limited means to try to help people as much as we can, and we also help people that are non-Hispanic regardless. So
Yes.
so that's what
Yeah.
we do.
That's really good, because I think this group that I just mentioned, where we have some Norwegian members that partake, is also doing a lot for the community, such as Father Joe's. They just did a diaper fundraiser to help, young mothers in need, etc., the homeless. And so, yeah, it's really important that we give back to the community as well.
Yes, and I feel that one way to give back to the community is through volunteering, donating your time, and listening to the concerns of others. Because I feel that when people are so involved in their own life, not necessarily mean that they're selfish, but sometimes they get so preoccupied with their own personal life and their own concerns that they kind of forget about everybody else. So that's one of the things that I try to encourage within the Hispanic community and Spanish United, is to try to do what you can to help others.
Yeah. And I think you just said something else here that is really important for me to communicate, and that is that the House of Norway would not be successful without our volunteers. That, anything from hosting, as we call it, or talking to people, or baking, or donating their time and effort and skills. It's very, very important. And I also wanted to make clear that anyone, again, can join us if people want volunteer hours as kids, for example, or college. I have had a lot of college students come and interview me, for example, to provide to share, again, different nationality inputs back in their classes. Anything, just let us know. We'll be happy to find a spot for you to participate with us.
Definitely. And excuse me. Another thing I was gonna ask, in terms of the language classes, like, do you have like Norwegian Spanish classes? Let's say for Spanish speaker who don't speak English but want to learn Norsk.
So that's really funny because we had a speaker that came to us. Her name, she was representing us at this younger teenage organization. She was born and raised in Central Africa. And she had taken a liking to Norwegian TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
And she taught herself Norwegian through Duolingo.
Yes.
And so we were just so excited to have her represent us and be our queen, so to speak, at a lot of different events. So she just graduated. And then what do you have? We have a new representative for us now, and her name is Sasha, and she is of Hispanic background. So again, there is a place, yes. We also have books in our little in-house library, and we try to have them be available in not just the Norwegian language, but also promote some of our authors in English and or Spanish, obviously, because Spanish culture is so strong here in San Diego.
Mm-hmm. Nice. And one of the things that we also wanted to ask, in terms of what I was going to say, in terms of fighting Hispanophobia, I'm not sure if you ever heard the term before or not.
No, but I can imagine what you are leading on to.
Yeah, Hispanophobia means anti-Hispanic sentiment. So like in terms of combating Hispanophobia, like I don't know too much about San Diego, but in terms of fighting against Hispanophobia, like has the House of Norway like been involved in support of Hispanic people in terms of fighting against discrimination against Hispanic people in terms of, the immigration crisis, that type of thing?
So that's a great question. So Norway historically as a country has actually opened its arms many times to people who were fleeing their countries. Cambodians came in a huge wave when they had a horrible war. We have Afghans that have come to Norway. Obviously, we know why. We have Syrians and basically people in need. So Norwegians are definitely very, very focused on equality and supporting peace among nations. We also have a very strong balance between gender in all kinds of public and governmental functions. It's again, equality is a critical component for us, and that is also what we are promoting through House of Norway.
Nice. Yeah, because I feel it's very important that other communities, especially that are immigrants, can try what they can to support Hispanic people. Because as Hispanic people, unless one is Native American, everyone is an immigrant in some way. And I feel that by supporting the Hispanic community in general, I feel that it could create a solidarity between other groups, and I think it's very, very, very important.
Absolutely. And that, once again, it's what I refer to with HPR, with all these nations. It's almost like a united nation, so to speak, where we do always listen to each other. We don't get involved in any political discussions, right, or religious beliefs. We are truly here to promote liberty and peace for all participants.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing with Spanish United. We are a completely nonpartisan, non-sectarian, secular organization.
Yeah.
we're neither left or right. We have different people that are from all spectrums, and even though people could have whatever their beliefs, but the whole focus here is on Hispanic community, which I think it's very important, and doing what we can for the advancement and the empowerment of the uh, Hispanic community.
Absolutely.
And one final thought to conclude the interview. What is the future that you see for the House of Norway for future generations?
So I think as I mentioned, House of Norway will continue to thrive because we are a unifying physical location where people who are coming here as students, or maybe even just for a short visit, or people who want to learn about our culture will continue to visit. It's actually really surprising to me that how many Norwegians come to the House of Norway. I was thinking, why would you go to a different museum first? But they really, really come visit, which is important. We need to continue to have fun with our members, to bring in volunteers and award them for service. If not, we would fall apart. So I feel that we are a good unifying force for all the different organizations that I mentioned earlier, whether they're choirs, whether they're Sons of Norway, Daughters of Norway, Fish Club Odin members, etc., and Ladies of Valhall. There's so many different Norwegian groups, and we are actually the one that's in the center and pulling them together.
Nice, nice. Well, I wanted to tell you, Anne, thank you so much for being on the show. I truly appreciate it. I apologize for a little bit of a technical difficulty, but I was able to get through.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure to talk to you, Enrique, and I hope to see you at the house with some of your friends from the organization, Spanish United. You're more than welcome to visit anytime, once again, on the Thursday, the fourth Tuesday, or Saturday or Sunday. Thank you.
I'll definitely keep that in mind. As soon as I'm done, I will send you the link to the interview.
Okay, fantastic.
Have yourself a wonderful day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.